Good evening, everybody. My name's Rodney Glodfeldy. I'm the vice chair of the board. Tom, as you can hear, Tom Woods is on the phone with us, so I'll be chairing the meeting in person tonight, but glad to have him with us. We're holding today's meeting at the Dennett Road Educational Complex in Oakland, and usually we set aside some time at the 4 o'clock when we open the meeting for public comment for those that can get here early. And then we also have public comment at 7. So I see we have public comment tonight, so I'm going to have to read something and then you can come on up and talk, okay? Garrett County Board of Education is pleased to receive comments and ideas from our public pertaining to the policies, procedures, and our practices of the school system. We ask the comments be limited to a maximum time of 3 minutes per individual unless otherwise considered by the board president. There will be no discussion or action taken at this meeting, but may be considered at a future meeting. Issues that are specific to individual employees should be referred to the immediate supervisor for appropriate consideration and review. Rude, slanderous, and threatening remarks or other behavior that is disruptive or interferes with the order of the meeting is not permitted. Topics excluded from public comment include individual personnel issues, comments identifying individual students or staff members, matters that are on appeal or may be appealed or have been appealed, topics for which the board schedules formal public hearings, and advertising or solicitation for products and or services. With that being said, we have Amanda Mattingly that would like to speak to the board. Yeah, come on, get in the hot seat up here.
How are you? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Amanda Mattingly. I'm here in several capacities as a former student of Crellin Elementary School, a current parent to a first and third grader who I have here with me. I'm the secretary of the Crellin PTO currently, and I'm also a member of the Crellin community. I've lived in the area personally for 10 years, but my entire family lives in the area. I came here today to personally thank you all for including our great school on the capital improvement plan to be voted on. We sincerely appreciate the consideration being given to our great school. For those of you on the board that don't know me, I'm a private practice attorney here in the county, and as such, I'm court appointed to represent children throughout the county. In doing so, I have the opportunity to go into and interact with nearly every school in the county. And I can honestly say, as most of you probably know, Crellin is truly a special place and unlike any other. There's a reason county residents such as myself seek out land in that community and in that district to be able to build a house and give my kids the education I got there as I was younger. The atmosphere the Crellin students are subjected to on a daily basis allows them to thrive in every way. Crellin's very important to the community there, and the school truly strives to be a community school. Throughout the year, we hold several events, and I say we as I'm very active with the PTO. Currently, we're in the process of doing a fall festival, October 25th, which allows every member of the community to be involved if they wish. We trick or treat down through town. There's a parade down through town. We have games at the school, and the community truly comes out in droves to attend that. In addition to that, the school goes out and helps elderly people to do yard cleanup. The school delivers poinsettias to community members, something that the community members I know because my grandmother who recently passed was a recipient of the poinsettias. They greatly look forward to that and start calling the school if they see out on Facebook that they've been out but haven't made it to their house. Every person who comes into the school feels a sense of inclusion. In addition to the wonderful school leader, Dr. McCauley, all the teachers and staff go above and beyond to make sure the parents and community members feel welcome. This is why so many parents are eager to help with different events at the school, the PTO events, the family engagement events, field trips, craft days. Anytime there's a, hey, we need help, people come out and they do just that. The principals, teachers, staff, students, parents, grandparents, guardians, everyone knows everyone, and everyone's eager to make it a better place.
Go ahead. I'm going to give you a little more time.
Oh, thank you. As an attorney, I'm slightly long-winded. I apologize for that.
I can see that.
Um,
Yeah.
Not a dig at you, Brandon, sorry. There's a reason that Crellin is currently, closed for out-of-area transfers and at maximum capacity, and that's because Dr. McCauley is and has been doing something right. The popularity that Crellin School has achieved has made the proposed improvements outlined on the capital improvement plan very necessary. There's no doubt in my mind that if those improvements create additional capacity, that too will likely be filled. In closing, I would like to thank you all for including us on the capital improvement plan, and the proposed improvements are greatly, greatly needed out there, and we look forward to working with the board anyway to make this happen. So thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Thank you very much. And you didn't mention all the awards Crellin has accumulated over the years.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
we're really proud of that school.
Thank you so much.
Okay. No other comments. The board will now go into the executive session. Under Section 3 of the General Provisions article of the Maryland Annotated Code, there's one reason the board will go into a closed session this evening: to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom the public body has jurisdiction, any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals. Specifically, the topics for tonight will be Section 3, 305B1, professional leave requests and personnel updates. The reason these topics will be discussed in closed session instead of open session is as follows. The personnel topics pursuant to 3, 305B1 disclosed above will be considered in closed session rather than open session because they include a discussion of specific employees, which is a confidential employment matter. Saying all that, does anyone have any objection going into executive session? If not, I'll take a motion to do so.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're in executive session. We'll be back probably around 6. Are you with us, Tom?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. We'll get started here in 1 minute. Okay. Reopen our meeting, our open session. It's 6 o'clock, and we'll have time for public comment at 7 if anybody really wants to comment. But we're going to start tonight's meeting with a moment of silence, and then our Candace, our student board member, will lead us in the pledge. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda? If so, I need a motion to approve it. Don? Sadie, second. All in favor? Aye. And we need to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And just to remind people that you can see what was in the consent agenda and the closed session summary if you go to the website. So we're saving a lot of time not reading that here. Announcements. Want me to do them? Do we have any?
Those are on our,
Okay, yeah.
announcements are also on our website, if you're interested in reading those announcements.
Okay. All right, we're moving right along here. So we're going to do a special presentation tonight, a student artwork recognition for Lisa Paul. And it's a remarkable painting. What grade are you in? Wow, it's quite a work of art for an eighth grader. Uh, Annually, the Garrett County Board of Education purchases one of the artwork pieces from the Student Honors Arts Fair. The superintendent, with assistance from the Fine Arts Committee, reviews all the artwork at the event and selects a piece that shows creativity and originality of a depicted subject or theme and includes quality of artistic composition and overall design. This year's artwork chosen by the superintendent was a picture of a hand pointed at an eagle in flight. The artwork was created by Lisa in the 8th grade advanced art class. The student used charcoal as a medium. Lisa studied the surrealistic work of artist Salvador Dali as inspiration for this piece. The artwork will be displayed at the central office at the Dennett Road Educational Complex, along with other student artwork from prior years. This tradition has been a wonderful way to showcase talents of our students and their great teachers. Congratulations to Ms. Paul and her former art teacher, Ms. Elisa Rodeheaver. Ms. Paul will receive a check from the Board of Education for her artwork, and I have the check right here. So you want to come up, and we'll show everybody the picture and do some photographs. Okay, let's give her another hand, everybody. Okay, we're moving right along here. Policies and procedures. We have about 5 of them to go over. So first one is IHOA, leaving school for curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular events. Procedure advised. And these are all first reads tonight, so we don't need action on any of them.
Good evening. I am here on behalf of Mr. Edwards to present the procedure for leaving school for curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular events. This is a procedure, so it's more, this one is information for the board, and it's really a very minor, a few minor adjustments that were made. They include updating some of the names to certain organizations to make sure that they're up to date with current partners. And then the primary change was to ensure that we had in our process, anyone who wants to take a field trip has to put a request into Trip Finder, which is an online platform that allows us to track the approval of all of our field trips. And so historically, back in the day, it was a paper form that went through the system and was physically signed off on. And that practice has since changed. And so we just wanted to update this procedure to show current practice, which is to go onto the online platform and use that management system for approval for all trips. That's the main change. So and if there's any questions.
Anybody have on this? Thank you, Nicole.
Okay, you're welcome.
Next one is a KHC distribution materials policy and procedure, which is revised. Mark Green.
Good evening. I'm here for the distribution materials and policy and procedure updates. Both the policy and the procedure were updated due to the fact that they were in the old format, and they have been updated to the new format. Because of this, a purpose was added to the policy, and a purpose, scope, and responsibilities were added to the procedure. Each of these was pulled from the existing policy and procedure, respectively, and both were reviewed by the Policy and Procedure Committee.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Green.
Thank you.
Okay, now we get our medical ones. Mrs. Aiken, JLCAA Vision and Hearing Screening Policy and Procedure revised.
Okay, this is a policy and procedure is being updated in accordance with the new MSDE and Maryland Department of Health guidelines. The policy, the format was changed to meet the policy and procedure template that we now have. The policy statement includes not only that we are following the law, but also the screening guidance established by MSD and Maryland Department of Health. That was a change to the policy. Procedure, the format was changed, of course, to meet the new template, and it reflects the best practices from the state screening guidance, and especially for screening younger children, now that we have 3-year-olds first time entry into school. Details are continued collaboration with the Lions Club, revision screening with parent and guardian permission, and it outlines communication with parents and guardians to follow up for referrals, including updated forms to be sent home. So that's the changes to update that policy and procedure.
Okay, anybody have any questions on the policies or procedures?
Not so much with this,
Mhm.
but with the 3-year-old.
Mhm.
How do you determine what you do with the 3-year-old?
Well, we sometimes we wait a little bit longer into the school year instead of right at the beginning of the school year. We go into the classroom and make them comfortable for what we're asking for the screening, maybe do some play screening so that we get a better screening, and then maybe even screen twice to make sure that we're getting invalid screening.
And it's only vision and hearing
Yes,
disorders that you're
vision
screening
hearing,
for.
yes. But very important for learning vision.
Sure.
hearing.
I have a question.
Sure.
So whenever we're sending the notices to
Mhm.
parents, is it in email format or is it like a letter sent home?
It's in email format. The Lions Club letter sent home. They have to sign the permission. It's on the website, the nurse's website. It's on the county website. It's sent home by the school principal in their letter. So there's many ways as we can, because we want parents, even if you're not in those grades that we screen by law, we always screen by referral. So if a parent or a teacher or someone's reading below grade level, we'd love to rescreen those children and make sure it's not a vision or hearing thing.
Okay, if there's no questions. We'll move right on to the next
Okay.
one, which is JLCEC, Emergency Use of Epinephrine and Bronchodilator Policy and Procedure.
Okay. Yeah, this one was updated and the name was changed from epinephrine to epinephrine, emergency use of epinephrine bronchodilators to include both stock epinephrine and bronchodilators. The change was made because of the update in a law that used to say EpiPen, but now they've come out with a nasal epinephrine. And so the legislators changed that to say epinephrine or epinephrine delivery devices instead of just an EpiPen. So that caused that change. And also in the law, there was a change to, we have stock bronchodilators. So if a student didn't have theirs, or we think it's an asthma attack, that we can use a bronchodilator. And so that was the big changes, were two changes in the law due to that legislation. Policy, the format was changed, of course. The policy statement reflects Garrett County Public Schools' intent to comply with the law regarding the use of both epinephrine and bronchodilators and to provide appropriate care for students with known and unknown anaphylaxis, asthma, and respiratory airway disease. Okay. The procedure, the format was changed. Outlines an approach to allergies, asthma, and reactive airway disease that is student-centered and based on awareness for all staff, education, prevention, and intervention. And includes a collaboration between the Garrett County Health Department and Garrett County Public Schools to develop standing protocols for the use of epinephrine and bronchodilators and to review these protocols annually. Provides for a mechanism for students who have a healthcare provider, parent, guardian, and school nurse approval to self-administer epinephrine or bronchodilators in an emergency, and updates forms and provides for documentation post-intervention. Questions?
Yeah. Any questions?
Sure. Yes.
Does it have to, is there one on-site, an EpiPen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know if the students had to provide them or not. I know they're expensive, so I think that some students didn't have them.
Yeah, every school has an EpiPen in our little emergency area that we have. We have EpiPens that we send on field trips. Students have their own EpiPens that they either carry or parents send in, and that's sent with them on field trips. We, at the beginning of the year, the nurses take a look at, sit down with the principal and look, so maybe I'm keeping bees at one school, or maybe we're outside doing a lot of things and I might need an EpiPen near the playground, or I have somebody with an allergy that I want to make sure that it's close to that classroom. We look at that individual school, and so we may have a different plan for each school.
Now, do you have a nasal spray as well? Or just
I
the EpiPen?
do, because we got free from the manufacturer. It's actually have it with me. I have for each
Give me
school.
a shot.
The manufacturer sent me nasal spray, and it looks pretty much like Narcan. If you're familiar with Narcan, 2 doses. These are ready to go on field trips as soon as the policy and procedure is approved. These will go out to the schools.
So much better if I have to carry an EpiPen myself.
Mhm.
That one looks much more appealing to me than being jabbed with my EpiPen.
And I think teachers will appreciate it too on a field trip. So yeah, it's ready to go. This was free, so we may have to buy some, but I was really excited to get that from the manufacturer.
Yes. Thank you.
So how often do you have to replace these?
These are good for every 2 years. The EpiPens I got from Mylan for free are every year, and then we buy some to make up the difference. So we have
Hopefully the price is coming down.
prices are about $180 is the cheapest I think I've got.
Yeah.
Rodney, may I ask a question?
Sure.
Staff training, once staff trained, both recognition and how to administer, is there a sign-off sheet that they have acknowledged their training? And do we do the same thing for bus drivers if they have a known student on their bus with allergies or AED? And is there a sign-off system to indicate that everybody's been trained?
Yes, nurses go, at the beginning of the year, they start and they do an awareness for everyone at every school. We do bus drivers, or we have a plan for that student that's a known anaphylaxis. We have a plan for that bus, and the nurse goes over it with the bus driver. And then, so there's awareness for everybody, then there's individual education. So when you're going on a field trip or a teacher's coming and we're sending that EpiPen, it may be a generic pen, it may be the delivery device may be different. So they're in service and they sign off when they get the pen and when they bring it back that they've had the updated in service. So we do a lot of prevention, a lot of intervention. We'd rather do that than have to do, to intervene and actually give an EpiPen.
And then one other thing, can
Okay,
you, go ahead, Tom.
No, I'm just going to say, so at the beginning of school, everybody signs off, they have received the training?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I just talked about, you might want to talk a little bit about the preventative work you do with food allergies. And
Oh, yeah, with food allergies or if there's latex, our nurses are really good detectives. If we have students that maybe have touch allergies, we have plans in place where we wipe things down, like the cafeteria between. We're always looking for anything with latex. We use nothing with latex in the health rooms. If somebody would have allergy shots, we like to know that. The parents to let us know. That way we make sure they're not exposed to that allergen the next day after the allergy shot. So it's individualized for that student, and we try our best. Nothing's 100%, but the nurses try their best to make sure that we can prevent anything from happening. That's the best way to do it.
so there's information given them to what
Mhm.
foods contain.
Yes. That's in this policy, yes. It should be on our website that the food is prepared where there are allergens, and then hopefully on the menus it'll soon have what allergens are there,
Okay, great.
so parents will know.
Any other questions? Thanks, Mrs. Aiken.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Just one more.
Oh,
One more.
oh, there is one more.
Yep.
Administering medicines to students, policy and procedure,
Yes.
JLCD.
This is updated because of the new MSDE and Department of Health guideline. Format was changed. The policy statement reflects the Garrett County Public Schools intent to comply with all laws, including the roles and responsibilities of those administering medication to ensure safe administration of medication during school and school events. The policy before, we didn't have the CMTs, and the role of the CMT and unlicensed person wasn't spelled out, and this kind of clarifies that in the policy now that we have certified med techs, that what a nurse can delegate, what we can delegate to them, and the oversight that we provide for them. The procedure, the format was changed, provides a straightforward procedure for administering prescription and over-the-counter medication to a student at school and during school events, includes the role of the nurse in clarifying orders and medication and treatments, labeling, storage, disposal of medication, as well as documentation are included. Delegation of medication administration to certified medication text was added, and forms were all updated.
Questions?
Okay.
Thank you. You were busy tonight. Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
Uh, as was said earlier, those are first reads for the board, and we will take action on them at next month's meeting. Okay, continuing business, we want to talk about the comprehensive maintenance plan. And Bob DeWitt, you up for this?
Yes. Good evening. So first up is the comprehensive maintenance plan updates. Changes are shown in red. Reflected staffing changes are shown in the organizational chart. Backlog facility needs numbers have been greatly reduced in the last year, partially by the Broadford School renovation and replacement, and also the partial roof replacements at both high schools. The additional budgeted maintenance funds are greatly appreciated, and that has assisted us in reducing the backlog facility needs for this year and future years. School construction numbers have been updated to reflect projects being worked on this year. Those prices are also more accurate because actual bids have been received now versus engineering estimates. Aging school funds of $61,000 were utilized to address drainage and sidewalk issues identified in state inspections. So those funds were used at both Swan Meadows and Friendsville this year. Work order data was updated to reflect our 2025 work order numbers. And also for this year, we added Camp Hickory and Dennett Road. The IAC wanted those in the report as well this year.
I thought it was an excellent report that you put together and appreciate it. When you look at the maintenance that we do on our buildings at the school system, I think we don't have any that are classified as poor, in poor condition, none of our buildings. And that's really a major accomplishment because other counties can't say that. And so our maintenance staff does a great job. And I know it's a daunting list that we have to get through here, but you're certainly making progress. And I thought this was an excellent report.
Thank you.
So if I may, Chair, I
Go ahead.
would like to, we had this last month, so this month we will be requesting action. So
Okay.
my recommendation is to approve the fiscal year 25-26 comprehensive maintenance plan as presented.
Okay, do I hear a motion? Don moves. Okay. So all in favor of that motion? Discussion. Oh, yeah, is there discussion?
Yes.
I don't think so.
I was just going to say, I too thank you very much for all the hard work that you put together to show this comprehensive the preventative maintenance, all the hard work that all of your maintenance staff and custodial staff have done. Please share that with them.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay, are we going to
I have one more for you this evening.
capital improvement?
Capital improvement plan updates. So on the capital improvement plan this year, you'll see a slowdown in funding. We've tried to reflect that in our CIP. Finishing the new Broadford School project is our top priority. There are also a few new funding sources shown in the CIP. ARC, which is Appalachian Regional Commission. We have tried to acquire that grant to fund the Culinary Arts Lab at Northern High School. Maryland Energy Administration for the Route 40 solar project, as well as the Route 40 decarbonization project. And then one other new item was Community Trust, and that is for Hickory's Tree Canopy Classroom. Crellin Elementary Ed Specs, we've moved those to FY27 with design and construction to follow in succeeding years. Friendsville Elementary School Ed Specs have been moved to FY29 with design and construction in following years. One change from last month is the IAC changed the funding percentage for projects launched during FY27 and 28 to a 95% state funded and 5% locally funded project.
Better.
So we've gained 6%. And as you all know, the IAC has different initiatives this year, so it does give us the ability we can move these slightly to benefit from those state funding initiatives each year. So that's all I have on that.
Rodney, can we get a recommendation so we can ask questions?
Yes.
We're gonna get a motion, we'll get a recommendation then.
But
Motion.
my recommendation is to approve the CIP, the capital improvement plan, as presented tonight.
Do I hear a motion? Don,
Second.
Sadie. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just had one question. And maybe it was just an error. And you said, Bobby, that the Friendsville Elementary Educational Spec was for FY29. So on the CIP, it says it's FY '28.
I believe FY '28 is correct.
No, it is FY '29 on the CIP.
29 or 28?
29.
Yeah.
We do have the Friendsville chiller replacement in '28.
On my CIP I'm looking at, it says Friendsville Elementary Educational Specs, FY '28.
Yes, it does.
Oh,
Yes,
you are correct. That was
yes, it does.
misspoken on my side.
There
Okay,
was
so it is 28, though. It is
Yes,
28.
the paper presented to us for the 26 to 2031 capital improvement projects is correct. We misspoke.
Okay. All right, so it's correct here on the internet.
Sorry.
Okay. Any other questions?
I guess at the same time, since we're talking about the CIP, could you take a minute and tell us how the Broadford renovation is coming along?
Yes, so the Broadford renovation is moving along well currently. Paving should be, well, they did pave the playground areas on Friday, started that paving. They are, over the next 2 weeks, they plan to move in full crews to try to get the paving complete. We're really pushing the exterior site work. And getting the building closed in. So the time frame the contractor's given us is by the end of November, the building will be dried in. They have began installing some of the corridor wall tile, and it is beginning to look like a school. So I'm happy to report that.
We're going to visit that on the 30th. So
Yes.
go ahead, Jane.
Mr. Witt, I know that the content of what you have here appears correct. There may be some math issues unless I'm misinterpreting something. Look at FY '27. FY '27, Southern Middle School renovation amount. See that column?
Yes.
All the way down, should that in gray be cumulative? Should that be a summary?
That is a math issue I've made.
So I think there are three. I think
Yeah.
one's in FY '27, one's in FY '29, and one's in FY '31.
Okay.
Okay, I think there's just some type of error when you did a summation.
I think it is in my formula from what I'm seeing here. So,
But I think the content, everything in the numbers are correct.
yes.
And I'm sorry I didn't notice that earlier.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, it's just a formula issue.
Yes.
Yes. No, I'm sorry I didn't notice it either earlier. Thank you.
Good catch. Any other questions? This is,
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, Brandon would know the answer to this. Brandon, do we need to have a new motion with anticipation of the corrections being made, or how do we do that, since there are going to be some corrections?
I could not.
he wanted to know if we need a new motion with the corrected, with the plan is corrected by the board.
We could amend the motion to say, accept the content and change the math. It's probably a clerical error, so I don't know that we even need to, but that's probably the safest bet, would be to amend the motion.
Well, there was a number of amendments, but
I would recommend an amendment that the totals be corrected for all of the columns where they're incorrected. That are
Okay.
correct. That way you could have just one motion.
okay. That was okay with Don. Okay with you, Sadie? Okay. All in favor of doing that, approving the, getting the math correct and then approving the plan with the math correct, say aye.
Fine.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom.
Sure, sure.
What's that? Okay. We're down to the strategic learning, or the excuse me, virtual learning plan, which we do every year.
Yes. So this is an action item tonight, the virtual learning plan for 25-26. And what is new in board docs for the board and the public to review is the virtual learning plan feedback. This was put out to public for a period of time between last board meeting and now. We did receive 54 responses, as you can see. And when we think about the responses that were in favor from parents, we were at 28 total in favor from parents, and non-parents in favor, 10. And then when we look at parents against, 16 comments against, and non-parent against, 2. So roughly 2/3 in favor. And then there are some that are indifferent. I would like to just remind the board and the public that the law does require us to use the existing makeup days that we have in our calendar first as snow days. And I think there may be some confusion about why we do that. We have 3 days built into our calendar, and that is intentional. And we do need to use those 3 makeup days as traditional snow days before we go into a virtual setting. And that's based on the law. The other thing that I do want to make sure we clarify from last meeting, there were some questions about why a 2-hour delay schedule, because that was one of the new components in this year's plan. And one of the primary reasons for that is to provide flexibility to the superintendent for in the instance that we have a 2-hour delay where we're planning on coming in person, and for whatever the reason, the weather does what it does in Garrett County and changes unpredictably, and we have to make a shift. And so that 2-hour delay schedule provides that flexibility in that event. If we had a planned 2-hour delay called and the weather shifts and we need to go virtual, the superintendent would be able to do that and still provide our community, families, and teachers and administrators all involved time to react to that call. Those were the 2 main things that I wanted to highlight, but certainly I know the superintendent needs to make a recommendation, and then if you have any questions, we'll be glad to answer them.
Okay, this is an action item.
Yes. So, but my recommendation is to approve the virtual learning plan as presented for fiscal year, really school year 25-26.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to accept that, or
Sadie?
recommendation.
I second that.
Jane, seconds. Okay, now we'll have discussion.
Yeah, I have a quick question. Either you or Dr. McCartney can answer this. So I know that with younger students, we have to give teachers like ample time and let them know that like, oh, there may potentially be a virtual day tomorrow to send home the students who do not take home laptops every single night. So you mentioned that this would be about flexibility. Would we, whenever we think we're gonna have a 2-hour delay or we have a 2-hour delay called, would we go ahead and send home those materials so we can make that shift into this virtual learning plan on a 2-hour delay?
That's a good question.
Okay.
And we would only go to virtual if we had planned that in advance.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say, I mean, there may be a time, we live in Garrett County, so there may be a time that we don't plan by sending things home, that we might need to call a typical, what I would call a traditional inclement weather day. But we do try to plan it ahead as much as we can. And so the short answer is yes, we would have things sent home in case we needed to do that.
Well, it was my understanding the virtual inclement weather day was when you already have a virtual day called, and it's going to be traditionally where the teachers come in at 8 o'clock or 7:30 and get ready, and then the weather deteriorates significantly overnight or something, and it's just not possible to get out of your home and get to this place where they have to provide the virtual day. So was I
It
misunderstanding
could
that?
be for that as well, if necessary. That's another, that's what we explained last time, but I wanted to add this additional explanation.
I thought I heard that.
Yes.
You're absolutely right, but we wanted to be sure that people knew that both could be possibilities.
Okay.
The other thing that I would add, just for folks to be aware of, because we have not used this option very much if at all, in my tenure, but in the plan and in our emergency plan for inclement weather, we would potentially use a 3-hour delay moving forward as part of our just tools in our toolbox, ways that we can respond to inclement weather. Those would obviously be in-person days, but that's another mechanism that can be used by the superintendent that we haven't used in the recent past.
Yeah, give the snow plows time to
Yeah.
clean off the roads.
Yeah.
And so there's a alternate schedule for those 3-hour delays.
For in-person 3-hour delays, we have confirmed with the administration that there are schedules in place for that.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay, we're ready to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. But I think still, so that's been approved. Now we need to do the Garrett County Public Schools Strategic Plan. I guess that's you too.
Yes, thank you. So this is an informational item to bring the board up to date on where we are with our progress with the Garrett County Public School Strategic Plan that was approved last year. And just as a reminder, let's see if we can get this going here. There we go. We had 3 overarching priorities in the plan, and so we'll go through each one and go through some of the data that we have as far as our progress and also some of the action steps. But the first priority is staffing, ensuring that we recruit and retain high quality staff. Our second priority, high quality instruction, providing all students with access to high quality instruction and support. And then our third is partnerships, fostering collaboration between schools, communities, and families. So those are our 3 priorities that we lifted up and approved. And I'm happy to be able to present that we're making progress, good progress, on all 3 priorities. So when we look at priority 1, these were some of the data points that we were going to be tracking. Some of them are written into the plan as official goals. Others are more progress marks that we're continuing to review as we make our efforts to implement some of the strategies to meet our overarching goals. So some of them are leading indicators. Others are actual goals that we're measuring. But as you can see, this is our year 1 of 3. Progress points, and you can see that we're making increased gains in every single area.
Do we have goals set for all these? I mean, I don't see the goals.
Yeah, so there in the strategic plan, there's a goal for national board certification, and we're expected within those 3 years to get to 15%.
50%.
And you can see that we are at 10%. With an increase of 4.3. We also had the 83% substitute fill rate. The fill rate was one of our 3 goals in this area. And we're to get to 88% by the end of 3 years. And then the last one that is set as a goal is the 3-year retention rate. And we're to get to 94.96%. in that one. So again, all of them are increases. The other ones that are on here are more leading indicators that we're monitoring. I will go ahead and preface for the board that when we're looking at these retention rates, we are calculating them using the methodology that we used when we set the goal to begin with. But I would be remiss if I didn't preview for the board that the AIB and MSDE calculate a retention rate for the state for each one of the school systems. And when we do our AIB progress monitoring here in hopefully a couple weeks, they will be displaying that information on a dashboard that is planned to go public in December. And those rates look very different than the rates that you see based on how we calculated. We calculated teachers only, and we looked at those who were there at the beginning of the year, those that left, and then we took the difference and did the division in order to get to the percent. So it was a very basic calculation. We have yet to be able to completely tie back to the AIB percentages at this time, although we have tried. But I will say, even though the percentages and how we're calculating it is different, we're making progress in both. We're well ahead of meeting the goal in our new teacher retention based on what the AIB has calculated, and we're very close to meeting the goal it's a 2-year goal. So we're within 2 percentage points of meeting the goal for the AIB. So we have to make that percentage point increase by next year. So we're in good shape. The other thing I wanted to highlight for you on this slide is that we do have our career ladder submission that went in July 1 of this past summer for review, and that was to add the level 4 of the career ladder to our framework. And we have received feedback from the AIB on that with some minor revisions requested. So we're in the final stages of getting those minor revisions updated and back to the AIB. We would expect approval within the next month or two. So we're looking to be in good shape there. And I did want to preview for the board the 1+1 teacher pathway partnership with Garrett College. That is a program that we are ready to preview for students in our student educational planning guide. So students will be able to sign up for that program their senior year, and they will, in all respects, take their first full year of college with Garrett College in the teacher pathway during their senior year. And then the second, after they graduate, they'll finish their second year at Garrett College before transferring to a 4-year institution. So we were really happy to get that agreement in place, and Mr. Edwards really spent a good bit of time working with Garrett College to ensure that we would be able to provide that opportunity for our students. So going into next year, students will be able to sign up for that. Any other questions on this? Mm-hmm.
So with that completion of that 1-to-1 program, will they earn an AA degree or just a certificate?
They
What does that look
won't earn they will not earn the AA degree while they're with us in high school.
The freshman year in Garrett?
They would take their freshman year of Garrett as a senior in our system and then graduate from us, go on to take their second year at Garrett College, and at the end of that second year, they would earn their associates before going to
That's wonderful.
a 4-year degree.
Thank you.
Well, while we're asking questions, if you could back up a slide, please.
Sure.
It would seem to me, being a school district charged with instruction, the most important thing would be high-quality education as opposed to staffing.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
Yeah, we talked about that when we originally approved the strategic plan, and it really just came down to logistically how it played out with all of the pillars that we were trying to integrate. But definitely understand that all of these are very important, and not trying to minimize high quality instruction in any way by it being technically priority 2. But we can certainly consider that for the future as far as how we organize it.
Dr. Miller, what do you mean by under strategic actions, define the NBC cohort with mentors and technical assistants? What, it says we still have 50 active in the pipeline that have not completed yet. Is that correct?
Yes. We have 50 teachers actively in the pipeline working towards national board certification.
And approximately how many do we have that already have it?
33.
So we're, that's a great thing, and it's a tough thing, because obviously that impacts the budget a lot, once all those 83 are completed. What kind of technical assistance are we talking about?
So Mrs. Miller works with some of our MBC teacher leaders, really. They've been doing it for a while. And they provide sessions to our teachers on all 4 components of the National Board Certification. They have traditionally been after school. Teachers could come in person, get support. We're also looking to provide a hybrid model of that moving forward, so that we're increasing the flexibility to teachers to be able to participate in that. And there's a mentor for every single MBC candidate that will be able to provide one-on-one assistance as well. And that's been in place for a couple years, but we're just working towards enhancing that as we move forward.
Are those still, are they still being funded by the blueprint?
So it's my understanding that we have so it's a $10,000 enhancement if you earn NBC, and I believe my understanding is a state share and a local share will fund that 10,000. So yes is the short answer.
For the upcoming, at least for the upcoming year.
For anyone who was certificated as of last December.
I got you. Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right, moving along to priority 2. We talked about this priority quite a bit last month, but this slide shows the progress of the 3 goals that we have in priority 2, which is to improve our overall academic achievement in ELA and math. You can see we are making gains, but we still have work to do, and we certainly talked about that last month. One leading indicator that we're looking at is our professional learning. We've made some great gains in that. We were looking for a total of a 10% increase there over the course of the entire 3-year plan, and we were at 7.7% just in 1 year. I did want to just acknowledge on the strategic action steps. Many of them we talked about last week or last month, but I did want to highlight that the work of Candy Moss and Amy Warnick, they spent a great deal of time writing a competitive grant. It's referenced as the Read and Lead grant, and we're awarded that to continue supporting work in the English language arts area to help us improve achievement in that area. So I did want to acknowledge their work and just the fact that they were awarded that tonight. And then finally, on priority 3, priority 3 covers a lot of areas. We have tremendous partnerships within our community, but you'll see that all of the areas on this slide have gone up with the exception of the dual enrollment courses taken. And I personally attribute that to the fact that more of our students took AP courses last year. If you recall from last month's presentation, we increased AP test exams given by 70, which was a 26% increase year over year from the year before. So while the dual enrollment is a slight decrease, I would say it was counteracted by the AP rate. You'll also notice that the rates on this sheet are for a 3-year strategic plan. So this is year 1 results. So we were really pleased to be able to move from the 0 to 2 private eligible providers for pre-K. Our goal was 3. And then also the CCR attainment was one of the primary goals, and we increased by 2%. Our goal is 66.64%, so we still have work to do in that area for year 2 and year 3, but we are seeing some progress and definitely seeing considerable progress in 12th grade CCR attainment. You'll also notice an increase in Judy Centers. That was also a result of a competitive grant that was written by Carrie Wampler. So I would give her credit for the work that she has done there to get that in place for us. And then the last slide. No, the new one's at Route 40.
Yeah, that's great.
So this last slide indicates one of the, well, it's the third goal. The very bottom bullet on the left-hand side is the third goal in the plan, and that is to see an increase in our post-CCR pathway attainment. And you can see there we've made some excellent progress in that area and have already surpassed the goal for the 3-year goal that we have set. The other indicators that we put on the slides for this particular priority are just leading indicators on the progress that we're making under these areas. As far as the action steps, I did want to draw attention to the culinary arts program at Northern High. That's going extremely well. We have 62 students taking advantage of that in the intro to culinary class, which I think is phenomenal, and another 22 students taking the foundations class, which is the second class. So an excellent turnout for that program for year 1. And every time I see a high school teacher at Northern, they're talking about the culinary program because they're serving some very delicious food from what I understand. So next time I'm there, I'm going to have to take part. The other thing I wanted to preview for the board was the implementation of the post-CCR Maryland AP option. That's not one that we've talked about before, but was one that was presented to us as an option last year. And we did take advantage of that. and we have had students that have earned that, which is fantastic. Also, I'll take the opportunity to preview for the board, which will support the AP option. We will be looking at cybersecurity advanced placement moving forward. So that's something that we're exploring this year for the hopeful implementation for next year. So I wanted to make sure we hit that, and also wanted to highlight for, I know the board is aware of this, but for the public, that we also have driver's education happening for the first time this year in a very long time. We have nearly 30 students currently participating in the first cohort, and then there will be another round in the second semester that we hope to get another 30. There are students already signed up. So our goal is hopefully, if not 60, very close to 60 students taking that course and getting their driver's license through that. And I'll acknowledge Mr. Edwards, who has applied for a grant after they had changed some of the requirements for a grant that the state was putting out for driver's ed. He applied for it and received it. So we're able to support that now through grant funding, which is fantastic. So a lot of great work happening. I think a lot of great results, but we still have work to do to hit our 3-year goals. So we have this year and next year to do it.
Great progress, Dr. Miller. Any questions?
All right, thank you.
Good report. Okay, that brings us to public comment. Do we have any out there? I don't think
Tracy,
so.
Mark's going to double check, but I don't believe so. While we're waiting, I just want to thank Dr. Miller and the rest of the staff for their work on not just the development of the strategic plan, but all that happens to make it work.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Okay, what comes down right now, we're at student board member report. Go ahead.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thank you all. So it is almost time for the end. Well, I guess next month will be the end of the first quarter, which means we're 1/4 the way done with the school year for students. For my students' reports, I have a little bit more than what I had reported originally. I wanted to give a shout out to Swan Meadow School. The last 3 years, I had the honor of attending their harvest sale, which is just a great community thing. I encourage everyone to come out next year. It's their biggest fundraiser of the year. Northern High School has been busy doing several community service projects, as well as they just recently wrapped up their homecoming week. I also wanted to point out the attention to the community that Southern High School has created and introduced what is called a UNICEF club. For those of you who are not aware, a UNICEF is basically they help younger students within the community. So I believe they did something this Autumn Glory where they were raising money. So it definitely is going very well. There's a lot of student engagement within that. There also were a lot of hardworking students who participated in the Autumn Glory celebrations, and I know our marching bands were very busy that weekend. As far as the County Student Council, on the 19th of September, we hosted our first ever retreat at Hickory Environmental Center. On the 1st of October, we had our first General Assembly at Garrett College. Our theme for that one was policy and advocacy, with the hopes of going down to Annapolis later this school year. Dr. McCartney also got to pop in and hear some feedback from the students, so we are all grateful to have her present. Then we also did a service project creating treat bags for various nursing homes around the county. We also had a fundraiser bake sale, and we have something coming up at Northern High School soon. As far as myself, I am working on the selection of my student advisors that I talked about the last 2 board meetings. I'm attending the MABE conference next week, and just as an additional note, I wanted to bring the attention to the community that our county robotics team is having a fundraiser on the 16th at Green Turtle. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Great job. Okay, do we have any board member updates?
I would like to report, I attended the Swan Meadow Harvest Sale as well. It was great. I got my donuts and pepperoni rolls, and it was great. And then I also was able to attend the Southern High School Fieldhouse dedication in honor of Sarah and Tom Kuhn. It was a wonderful event. And lots of other people were at that event. It was just wonderful.
I have a couple, Rodney. A couple weeks ago, attended the GCPS Foundation meeting, and the foundation did give out. Dr. Miller probably remembers the exact number. She's a good note taker, and I'm just a listener. But there was, I think they gave out about 12 mini grants, $250 mini grants to teachers throughout the county, and there was some very interesting. UNICEF was one of those actually that got a grant to start that. And so they really do a great job with the foundation in helping our school system with other needs that we might have. And certainly a lot of people made some very nice donations there. And the field house at Southern was, certainly run through that foundation. I think the one at Northern will be as well. So a report back to you that the foundation is doing really great. And it's a great add-on for us in terms of getting some extra things. The field house, regrettably, wasn't able to attend, and my granddaughter did not win homecoming queen, so that was two bad strikes. Although she still is the prettiest girl for me, so that's all that really matters.
Of course.
I did understand, as Dr. Wilson said, everything went great. I'm real happy about that. If that's off my personal radar now, and is a part of the school there. Thirdly, the last thing I want to say is that Debbie and I did have a great privilege of attending a classroom at Broadford and presenting our Teacher of the Year with a check from our charity, our son's charity, and it was really, I think it was really great for Debbie to be back in a classroom with small children and to see her face light up. But we were very proud of Laura and what she's doing. Laura was actually a student teacher with Debbie many, many years ago. So that was very meaningful to her to do it, but I'm really happy to help out, and I know she will make good use of that in her classroom.
Thanks, Tom. Anyone else? Okay. Busy time of year. Okay, Superintendent, would you like to give us an update?
Excuse me, sorry. I only have a couple things. Nothing as exciting as what has just been reported from both board members and our student board member. So I'll just start by thanking the board members and Mr. Woods for all that you do for the students in the schools and attending the events that our students are participating in. Thank you for that. For all of us, the end of the first grading period is November the 4th, which we're almost there, and report cards will be released on November 11th. There are many school activities, including fall festivals, including schools developing plans for Veterans Day, and I would hope that members of the community and board members will be able to attend some of those events. You'll see announcements on board docs or under calendar items on our website if you need more information. And since I'm mentioning board docs, I forgot to do this in an earlier session, but board docs is migrating sort of to a new platform, and that is to happen tomorrow. So if you are trying to access board docs and it looks a little different or you have some problems, please give us a day or two to figure out what we need to do to make it work well. So, but that work will be starting tomorrow. That's all I have for tonight. So thank you.
Okay. We have some informational items, but that are included in your packet. I don't know if you want to go over those or one's a quarterly finance report and one's school activities.
No, the informational items on school activities can be found on our website. You can also go to individual schools' websites to see those. And for the board, you do have the quarterly finance report for the end of the first quarter, showing our expenditures thus far. When I looked at the report, what I noted as much as anything is the percentage is almost exactly the same percentage as last year when we gave you that quarterly report. You also will notice you have a report on the number of meals that are being served, and one of the things that we have seen this year, since we are able to provide breakfast and lunch to all of our students, we have seen a marked increase in the number of students participating in our meal program. So that is also very good to see. And I will note, because I know we're all paying attention to this, I was at a school one day and the students were coming off the bus. They sort of grabbed their lunch before their breakfast before they go to their classroom. And I was very pleased to see things like fresh cut up oranges and nuts and different fruits that would be available to students in the morning, along with sausage biscuits that look pretty good. So I was just pleased to see that kind of meal available to all of our students as they were entering the building.
Just one question, I guess, with the elephant in the room, with the government shutdown, are those federal funds for free and reduced free lunches for everybody? Any word on where we are with that?
right now, the last information I read, and I think I shared that in an administrative update, that was the last information I had that indicated for the current time period of the next month at least, that the federal shutdown should have no impact on our ability to provide the meals, the breakfast and lunch for our students. We are watching that carefully to see if anything changes in that regard, and if anything did, we would try to make people aware of that as quickly as we could. But hopefully there will be no impact. As of now, there is none.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we're at the end of the agenda, so.
Second.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, Jane, all in favor? Aye. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, great job, Rodney.